Hi, my name is Trista McDevitt-Dwyer. I'm an education specialist at Canyon View Elementary.
Hi, I'm Megan Bergman, and I'm an education specialist at Canyon View Elementary. And we're going to be talking about our token board books. And we're going to explain each page of it and what you'll find inside. So the cover page is going to have your student's name on top, so they can easily identify it's theirs. If they were in a classroom setting, they'd be able to tell it apart from their peers. It also might be color-coded, however you utilize it in your classroom. And the main event is going to be what they're working for. That's going to be their motivator or their reinforcement. There's also a section for their token or their pennies. So you might hear us say, I love your calm body, penny on. I like your quiet mouth, penny on. What we like to use these for is not only work completion, but mostly positive behavior.
Our next page is a schedule page. So if you are working with your child and you realize that your child does really well with a visual schedule, you can take any of the activities that you're going to be doing that day. For instance, if you're working on math on the computer, then you want to give them a bubble break, and then reading on the computer, and then a free choice on the iPad. You'll just let them know what they're doing, so that way they can see, okay, I don't want to do math, but afterwards I have bubbles. I don't really want to do reading, but afterwards I get to play on the iPad. So this helps them to have some structure and to see what will be happening next. On the next page,
this is a page of reinforcers. This is what your kiddo might be motivated by. And of course, this is going to be different for each and every student, each and every kid, and it might be different based on the day, whatever they're into. It's really important when your student and your child comes to sit and work with you, this should be the first question that you want to know the answer to. What do you want to work for? You want to make sure that your student is motivated to work with you. If they're familiar with a token board book, they might be able to flip to this page and pick something out. They might only have a few reinforcers that they're really interested in, or they might have a whole page. If this is overwhelming, you might take out two and show them, what do you want to work for? But this is a good place to keep all of those icons handy.
next you'll have your coping supports. So these are things when you start to see your child getting upset or getting frustrated, you might want to ask them which coping strategy they want to use. Or tell them, let's take a deep breath. And these are things that we want to teach the students in our class or the children at home to do ahead of time. So when they're not frustrated, we're going to practice taking deep breaths. Miss Megan, let's take 2 deep breaths. One more. Good job. So we're going to practice doing all of these and understanding what those mean when we're not frustrated. That way, when kids are frustrated, they already know how to do that skill. They already know what their coping supports are. And so that way it'll be readily available and it will be easier for them to do when they're frustrated. On our next page,
these are kind of our behaviors and our norms. What do we want our student to show us when we're not only working at a table, but these are positive behaviors we'd like to see from all of us when we're out in the environment and we're at home, when we're at school. And so this can kind of be something you might want to go over when your child first sits down. What are you working for? You're working for chips. Awesome. How do you earn those chips? We're gonna have eyes on target. Your hands are on the table. Your mouth is quiet. You're listening to your partner. Your feet are on the floor. And we added a fun one for our digital home learners. Your computer is on. These might be different based on what your expectation is of your child and of your learner. However, we always want to make sure that they are positive. We want our student and our child to hear positive language and what we want them to show us versus what we don't want them to show us. For example, we wouldn't tell our student, don't run, because then they'd hear the word run. We'd tell them walking feet, so they heard the word walk.
And last but not least, we have our communication board. This is definitely helpful when you're trying to get some language out of your child or your student, and they might not be sure what language to use, but you can model it and you can say, what want?
Want, go, out.
Oh, okay. We go out.
We go out.
So I modeled what I am saying to her, and sometimes for a learner who's unsure what to do, I might start and say, I want, and then show them. I want, and then wait. If they're unsure still, I might ask them to show me. And let's say Miss Megan gets up and points to the door. Oh, and I say, oh, I understand. Show me. I want, go, out. Then I know what to expect from her and what she wants. Afterwards, we'll practice this a couple times so that way she'll get used to saying, I want, go, whoop, out. And sometimes I don't know where the icons are readily, so practicing and showing our students and our children that it's okay to make mistakes is a great thing too.
It's always really important when you're using your core board to use it with your students too. If I was talking to Miss Trista and I spoke Spanish, it's because I'm expecting her to speak Spanish back to me. So if you would like your child to use a language and use a core board, you have to use the core board with them too.
All right.